Hey everyone, welcome back to The Nail Therapist. And my name is Rachel, and today I'm going to take you through a very complex pedicure. She came to me with a fear of pedicures, broken nails. She's got diabetes and neuropathy associated with that. She also has very heavily calloused soles and nail fungus. So all of these things are going to be addressed today in this pedicure. So stay tuned. My name is Rachel. I own Revive Nail Studio in Leesburg, Virginia, and I've been a nail technician for about 17 plus years, specializing in natural nail care using non-toxic and organic products only so that I don't increase your toxic load. I always begin my pedicures dry and push the cuticles back gently to release the skin, the proximal nail fold, from the nail itself. This is not to remove the cuticles. I'll be doing that with the e-file in just a minute. On this foot, you can see a few of the nails are looking a little suspicious. That fourth toenail and the middle toenail both, I think, have some sort of fungal infection. And the large toenail has been cracked off in the corners quite a bit. We'll find out later what is causing that to happen. Her hyponychium is attached pretty high up on all of the nails, except for on the corners of the large toenail. And that is one of the reasons why it is cracked off on both sides. A little health history on this client. She has diabetic neuropathy pretty painfully on the tops of her feet and toes. The bottoms of her feet on the soles are not as affected, but the pain goes all the way up her shins. So you'll see that I'm going to be a lot more gentle and careful and maybe slow going with her so that I don't irritate that symptom. It feels like sharp stabbing pains, sometimes a tingling, aching sensation. So yeah, I just didn't want to cause her any discomfort while she was getting her feet worked on, because I don't want her to have that fear to come back like she did with previous salons. On both the third toe and the second toe where I'm working, there is a large indented horizontal line that goes across both of them around the same place, sort of in the middle. This one's a little more towards the tip. And so I think in the large toenail as well, there's another horizontal line. And this indicates to me that there was something that happened to her health that stunted the nail growth for a short time. We didn't get into her backstory all that much in the past 6 or 7 months, but I would guess that there was something that happened in her health about 5 to 6 months ago that caused her nails to stop growing abruptly, and then as it continued to grow, caused these deep indentations in her nails. They're often called Bowes lines, and you'll see them on the other foot as well. I cleaned off most of the debris of the cuticle line with the tapered barrel. Now I'm going back in with a detailed bit to try and get the remaining cuticle that's kind of stuck in the nail folds and the corners that are a little bit harder to reach with the blunt edge of the tapered barrel. This nail has been damaged a little bit at the edge. You can see like on the sides, the side wall of the nail sort of flips out instead of curving in like a healthier nail does. And the polish is kind of stuck inside these ridges where the nail was damaged. So I'm trying to smooth out some of that with the e-file, and I'll come back and work more on that later to get that nice and smooth. On the bottoms of the feet with heavily calloused feet, I use a 42% urea gel to help start the process of breaking down the layers of the callus. This just softens the skin a little bit, and by the time I come back and do the foot file later on, it'll easily slough off those dead skin cells a little bit better than if I didn't use it at all. As I mentioned before, she's got a very high hyponychium, so I'm being very careful not to nip any skin that's attached to the nail at the free edge. And if it looks like I left a lot of free edge on a couple of those nails, it's because the skin is right there. So I'll be going back with the file and making sure that it is as short as I can get it without it hurting her hyponychium. On this toenail, I'm trying to just see if I can buff off some of that white patchiness on the top of the nail. And as you can tell, it doesn't really want to come off. So to me, that just screams white superficial onychomycosis. And we talked about using a topical treatment, just starting off with a little tea tree oil mixed with a drop of coconut oil and doing that twice a day. And we're going to reevaluate when she comes back because I'm not too concerned about that in particular. Everything else is a little bit more pressing, but we'll see how that goes. And if it doesn't work, then I have a product that I use called Recover Nail Treatment Oil that has a combination of 5 different essential oils that are used to attack different pathogens that affect the nails. So I will have an update for you when she comes back in a few weeks, and we'll go from there. Here I'm just getting a preliminary reading on what the nail is going to be like trying to clean out the side. And it's pretty tight right there. You can see the dark shadow in the corner there and a little bit even on the other side, which you can't see as well. And so I'm already thinking there's some sort of fungus growing on this side of the nail, probably on the other side too. In a second, I'm going to zoom in here. There is a little spike right there in the corner that is growing into their skin. I'm going to try and get that nipped out, and right there. Don't worry, I'm not going to leave it that way. I'm going to have her soak, and when she's done soaking, I'll be able to get in there a lot better and clean that sidewall out. And right here you can see that horizontal line I was telling you about before. It's about halfway back from the free edge, and that is consistent with the other two nails that also have the horizontal line. All right, so here we have a look at her other foot. You can see on that second toenail, there's something going on there, and we'll get to that. And this great toenail, there's also looks like there's some fungus happening on the side, kind of in the same spot as the other big toenail. So keep an eye out for ridges on this foot. Let's see if we can find any together. So on this toenail, she had an actual physical trauma. Honestly, I don't remember what she told me it was, but I can't remember if she dropped something on it or I should have taken a note, but doesn't matter. There's some trauma to this nail, and the new nail growing in looks nice and healthy, but it looks like there is some old nail that's getting ready to detach from the nail plate on top of it. So keep watching, we'll see what happens. Okay, so this is like the big reveal. I'm filing off the top layer, trying to see what is going to happen if I try and smooth this nail out. And you can see that it's beginning to shed a layer, but there's a nail that's underneath it as well. So there you go. See, there's the opening. And it was super exciting. You can't tell maybe from the video, but I'll be able to get my nippers up underneath there. There's a little bit of a space. There we go, and it's broken through. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who gets excited for that kind of thing, but I live for this. I was stoked. That color on the tip of her great toenail underneath the free edge is actually the orange polish that she had on her nail, not blood or anything. Alright, so this is after the foot's been soaking for a few minutes and the nail is softened up a little bit, so it's easier for me to get down there in the sidewalls. I am sorry the quality of this video is not the greatest, you guys. I get so into the actual work that I forget that I'm filming, and so I should have zoomed in a little bit so you could see what I'm doing a little bit better. I tried to do the zoom feature just now, and it's just a blurry mess, so this is the best I can do for this particular moment. Hopefully I'll remember to do something different next time so that it's a little bit better for you to follow. But basically what I'm doing here is I'm trying to cut away the lifted portion of the nail plate that is not attached to the nail bed and getting those spicules out on the side that were remaining from before. Remember when I told you I was gonna go back and fix it? That's what I'm doing right now. If you're new to the pedicuring world, or you are just starting to learn a bit more advanced knowledge on nail care, if you come across a client who has nails that are kind of broken on the sidewalls, like one piece is growing into the skin, that's called a spicule. And those often happen when the nail is not clipped all the way to the sidewall, and there's a little bit of nail left that keeps growing forward. So when you're cleaning out the sidewalls, you really have to make sure that you get all the way down to where the lateral groove meets the nail, and make sure that there's nothing that's going to, like a piece of nail, even the tiniest piece, will grow into the skin and cause a lot of pain. So you've got to be really good about getting all of the nail clipped all the way to the side. Oh goody, I remembered to refocus. You're welcome. Like I mentioned before, her heels and the metatarsal pad of her foot on this side had a heavy callus, like thick callus. So I'm working pretty hard to get that smoothed out. They did not have any fissures just yet, and we talked about the dangers of developing fissures, especially in those who have neuropathy. So we discussed what her at-home maintenance was going to be like, and she was on board with maintaining. So she does have a foot file at home, and we send her home with the 20% Urea foot cream that I have that will help to soften the calluses over time, but not make her feet tender, and keep her skin hydrated so that she does not develop the fissures. So that is a big factor with diabetics. You don't want them to have any kind of broken skin because one, they don't heal as well. Their wound healing is impaired. And two, if they have any kind of numbness or tingling or loss of sensation in any capacity on their feet, they may not notice that they have a wound, and then it becomes a bigger issue after that. So always with your diabetic clients, make sure that they know of all the dangers associated with foot care if they don't maintain their feet well. And right here, I'm going to just highlight, this is her fallen metatarsal arch. That's why her toes look like they're higher than the bottom of her foot. The heads of her metatarsals have fallen, and that's why there's a heavy callus right there as well. It's got a lot of friction in her shoes and on the floor when she's walking around because the bulk of her weight is on the ball of her foot. And even after all of that scrubbing with the foot file, I still wanted to go in with a more abrasive bit and soften some of the heavier calloused areas that look like they could be leading to a fissure. Y'all, my dust capture system is not working to its maximum capacity right now. You need to have a good dust capture system in place if you're going to do any kind of dry pedicuring, because look at all those really tiny, fine dust fragments that I'm kicking up off of her feet. I have a mask on while I'm doing this, so that's good, but my dust capture system on the floor right below is not sucking enough, and as it turned out afterwards, I noticed that the filter needed to be cleaned out. So I did that, and I'll be doing that between all of my heavy calloused clients from now on. Here's me picking it up, trying to capture all of the dust that's still lingering in the air. Okay, I need a new system in place. I know. I don't have a lot of space, so it's an ongoing problem that I have to figure that out. So if you have any products or suggestions on a better dust capturing system that doesn't take up a lot of floor space, throw it in the comments, please, because I need some assistance trying to figure that one out. Alright, so after I'm done with the dry callus removal, I spray the foot with a natural enzyme peel spray, let it sit for a few seconds, and then I have this organic mitt that I moisten and go scrubbing the bottom of the foot with. It gets some extra skin just slopped off there. It's really great for just finishing up the foot and making it really nice and smooth. On this great toe, you can see there's the remnants of a ridge about halfway up the nail, just like on the other nail. Kind of indicative of something traumatic happening to her health about 5 months ago. And on these corners, the nail is slightly lifted, so some of that discoloration could be dried blood, some of it could be fungus. Don't know exactly because we don't test it, but because it's lifted and it's kind of spongy, I'm thinking it's probably fungus. Again, I'm being as careful as I can with her because she is diabetic. I don't want to create any wounds, even if it's just a tiny nick. So I'm being a little bit more slow going and extra cautious than maybe I would be with a normal client, but not that much more. And also her sensitivity to just having her feet handled is different from a normal client without neuropathy, so I'm just being a lot more gentle than I probably would be with the average Joe. So I can tell sometimes the nail plate gets so thinned out that it blends in with the nail bed. So that's at the point where I was right here. I didn't want to try and nip anymore, so I used the nail bit to try and just exfoliate as much as I could to see, whether it was skin or nail. It wouldn't have mattered if I hit it with the bit because it wasn't going to tear it up. One of the things I love about this job is that not every pedicure is exactly the same. Everything's going to be a little bit different, and you're going to have to make these decisions to determine what the best use of your skills are for their individual needs. With this toenail, I suspect that it's still going to break off all the way as it grows in. It's happened to me before, so I sort of recognize the signs, but for right now, her nail is intact, and probably over the next 3 months or so, it might crack. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you come back and see how she continues her progress with healing her nails. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.